So in this session, we shall have a brief intro on the most important topics as far as the NMAT exam is concerned. So as you know, the NMAT exam is completely adaptive, which has got three sections: the language skills, the logical reasoning, and the quant. So before getting into the weightage of each and every topic of all the three sections, I will just brief you about what is meant by the meaning of adaptive, right? So for that, I'm just taking the example of one of our mock tests. So let me just, this is the exact interface that you are going to get in your NMAT exam. So this is a first screen and we can just click on next, and after clicking next you will have 4 minutes in the actual NMAT paper. So these 4 minutes, in these 4 minutes there will be a lot of instructions that you need to just check them, and then if you just click on next, you will have few more instructions regarding the questions, right? So there will be a question and followed MCQs, right? And so these are the few more details regarding the question. So this is the thing that I would like to tell you. In NMAT exam, we have got the option of selecting the questions. So within the 4 minutes that I told you, right? So this is the time reminder, right? The 4 minutes, within 4 minutes you have to select the order of the sections that you are going to attempt. The order, there are three sections as we know: the language skills, the quant, and the logic part, the logical reasoning. So you can start with language, you can also start with the quant, and also you can also start with the reasoning part as well. But what I normally recommend students is to start with the language skills, right? And the next section that they can select is the logical reasoning, and then at last they can attempt the quant part. So I normally recommend students to to select this order: the verbal, the language part, followed by the reasoning, followed by the quant part, right? And again, it's that's up to you, completely up to you. If you are very strong, very good at the quant part, you can start with quant as well, right? And let's click on next. Let's click on next. Now, since I selected the language part at first, we have got the first section as language skills, and we have 36 questions, and the duration, sectional duration, is 28 minutes, right? So let us click on next. Now, the main difference in an adaptive test and a non-adaptive test is, in a non-adaptive test you have got the option of moving on to the next question by completely unanswering this question. Let's suppose I'm not answering this question and I want to move on to the next question. Since it's an adaptive test, this is not possible. So unless you attempt this question, you are not allowed to move on to the next question. Since I attempted this question, I can just move on to the next question, right? So for instance, I'm not attempting this question, I'm just trying to move on to the third question. So we are getting restricted, so it's restricting us to not to go to the next question, right? So I'm just attempting, and I'm just giving random answers because I want to show you one more thing. Yeah, this one. When it comes to the RC part or DI part, where we have got more lengthier passages or more lengthier instructions, some of the students, due to some time constraints, they just skip RCs, right? So for them, what they have to do is, see, if I just click on some option and then click on next, what happens is we have got the instruction like you haven't viewed the entire screen, make sure you scroll every corner, because I didn't go through the entire passage, right? I didn't scroll down and I didn't go through the entire passage. That's the reason why I'm unable to go to the next question even if I answered this question, right? Hope you understood. See, let's see, I answered this one as well, and I'm just clicking on next, but I'm unable to move on to the next question because I haven't finished reading the whole passage. So if I just scroll down and if I answer something like this and if I just click on next, I'm unable to move on to the next question. So whenever you want to skip an RC in an NMAT exam, what you have to do is you have to quickly just scroll down and just click on an option and just move next. Scroll down, click on an option and move next, right? So this happens only not only with the RC part, it also happens with the DI part, the data interpretation part as well. All right, I will explain you the strategy of the NMAT exam, how you have to take, I mean how you have to move ahead to score the maximum marks in later on in later slides. So this is the basic difference, right? This is the basic difference. So I will just brief you about the weightage, all the important topics in the NMAT exam. What are the topics that you are going to get, and what are the excluded topics as far as the official NMAT notification is concerned. So let's move ahead. Right. So if we consider the test taking strategy of the NMAT exam, let us move on to the most critical topics of all the three sections. The first one being the language skills. So in language skills, we have got 36 questions to be solved under 28 minutes, right? So these 36 questions consist of the reading comprehension, which again we can expect around two to three sets, but and around 8 questions. The second one is the prepositions. We can expect around 5 to 6 questions again. The paraforming, which means the parajumbles, we can expect 5 questions. The analogies. See, in NMAT generally tests the vocabulary, no vocabulary knowledge, your vocab knowledge in the form of analogies. If you are good at vocab, then you have got a better edge as far as language skills are concerned. And you can solve the analogy questions, the preposition questions, and the error identification questions in 10 to 15 seconds if you know. All right. The paraforming questions, which means the parajumbles, since they are not theta based, you can solve the 5 questions, let's say 5 questions in 3 minutes for sure. All right. And regarding the error identification, we can expect around 6 questions. And error identification, there is no need to focus specifically, because if you are good at grammar part, right, like all the tenses from noun to the conjunction, interjection, so what you have to do is you have to know the right usage and the wrong usage of all the tenses, the articles, as well as the subject verb agreement. Okay, so these three areas are the predominant areas in which any omit tests under the category of error identification or error spotting, right? So subject verb agreement, the all the the parts of speech, the right usage as well as the wrong usage, and articles, and of course the other things as well, the direct indirect speech, the active voice, passive voice. So overall these are the areas in which error identification questions generally come, right? 98% of the 98% of the times these are the areas in which the questions are tested under error identification. And in sentence completion we can expect around 5 questions. So overall if we just add up all the questions, The overall number of questions are 36 questions, which are to be attempted in 28 minutes. The next one is the logical reasoning, and this section consists of 36 questions, and you have got the time of 40 minutes. Again, critical reasoning and deductions play a predominant role. See, these two sum up around 18 to, let's say, 20 questions. Definitely you can expect around 15 questions. That's the bare minimum number that we can expect from critical reasoning and deductions, right? 15 is the bare minimum number. And under critical reasoning, the topics are the, see, let the inference based, the conclusions, the argument, strengthening the argument, weakening the arguments, the assumptions. So all these areas come under critical reasoning. And moving on to deductions, the remaining areas like the statement conclusions, the course of action, right, the statement arguments, the analysis, the factual analysis, right. So these 4 to 5 areas come under deductions, correct. And again, the input output, we can expect two sets from input output. One set is minimum, and that set, each set of input output consists of 3 to 4 questions, right. And analytical puzzles, number related puzzles, or else you can also get linear arrangement puzzles, right. So any type of puzzles. Remaining 4 to 6 questions will come from the other reasoning areas. What are the other reasoning areas? Like the syllogisms, the ranking test, and we have got the Venn diagrams related, and set theory, right. And we have something called the series, sometimes coding, decoding as well. Okay, so this is the no the important, these are the important topics as far as the logical reasoning of NMAT exam is concerned. If we talk about the language skills, see, the time taking a thing is the RCs take more time. See, if you have two RC sets, for each in each RC, 4 questions in each RC set, you can solve those two sets. Again, since it's adaptive, we cannot, I mean, we are not sure whether the RCs come from at the beginning of this test, or at the middle, or at the end of the test. Whatsoever the two RC sets, you can solve, you can dedicate a time limit of 10 minutes for the two sets. All right. Since we have 28 minutes, the maximum time limit that you can give for RCs is 10 minutes. Right. Again, RCs are pretty much doable, not inference based RCs, not the RCs that you are going to come across in CAT, SAT exams. NMAT RCs are even easier than the IIFT RCs. All right. And coming to the quant, let's take arithmetic first. Again, in quant we have got 36 questions, and the time limit that we have is 52 minutes. In arithmetic, we can expect around 10 questions, right? Out of 36, we can expect a minimum of 10 questions from arithmetic. And the topic wise division goes like this: we can expect 3 to 4 questions from averages, ratios, and proportions. And percentage profit and loss, we can expect 4 questions around. And regard interest based questions, we can expect 1 or 2. Time and work, time, speed, distance, around 2 to 4. And partnership related, we can minimum, we can expect around 1 question. All right. Moving on to the modern maths and algebra, we can expect 2 to 3 questions from probability, the permutations, combinations, the logarithms, and the sequence and series, right. So two to three questions from the first three topics, and we can expect two minimum of 1 or 2 questions from the logarithms, right. Moving on to DI and DS, the data interpretation and data sufficiency. So in DI, there are tables, caselets, charts, and graphs which NMAT has been testing for the past 3 to 4 years, right? So 10 questions is it's like the benchmark number that you can expect in your NMAT, whatever the slot can be. And in data sufficiency, you don't need to focus on particularly on data sufficiency, because once you are clear with all the basic concepts of arithmetic, modern maths, number system, and algebra, what happens is uh, those are the areas in which data sufficiency tests, right? So there is no need to focus separately specifically on data sufficiency. All right, so we can expect say 6 to 8 questions, anywhere between 6 to 8 questions as far as the data sufficiency is concerned. So overall, DI and DS, the total number of questions are 16 to 18, right? And when it comes to geometry and mensuration, NMAT doesn't ask. I mean, NMAT has stopped asking questions from geometry and mensuration. Last year, we didn't have any question regarding the geometry mensuration. In one or two slots, we found one question, I think, from geometry, and again that's negligible. If you have cleared basics previously, like if you are preparing for CAT, because most of the NMAT aspirants are also preparing for CAT and ZAT, IIFT, all the remaining omits as well. So if you are preparing geometry for that, so that's no big deal. Again, you can solve the geometry related question if it comes in NMAT, right? So if you are planning, no, if you are preparing for NMAT on your own, you're most welcome. You can do that. You can prepare on your own. But in case if you need a mentorship or training, we have already launched the NMAT Snap course. Uh, it's a complete live plus recorded sessions, right? So live and recording sessions are available for the Quant, VA, RC, critical reasoning, the LR and DI part. Of course, DS as well, data sufficiency. And apart from that, we will also conduct a special verbal vocabulary sessions for NMAT and SNAP. And apart from the live sessions and recorded sessions, you will get the topic test 70 plus Quant topic test, 50 plus LR, 64 plus RC and grammar tests, 80 plus verbal, and the remaining all the vocab tests, and more than 200 plus the critical reasoning questions, which are at par with the SNAP or with the NMAT level. And will GD and PI sessions, GD and PI sessions are also included in the course. And apart from those, coming to the full length mocks, uh, 10 full length NMAT mocks which are completely adaptive, 12 SNAP full length mocks, again pattern the same interface and all that. And you will get the mentorship by the NMIMS, SIBM, and IIM alumni. So we are charging 5,000 rupees for the entire course, and the validity of the course is until March 31st of 2022. So some of you might have enrolled in NMAT Snap courses in some other institutes. No big deal. You can, and some of you might be looking for only mock tests for NMAT. So you can get the 10 NMAT adaptive mock tests. Additionally, you will also be provided 150 plus topic tests covering the all the areas like Quant, CR, LR, DI, DS, RC, verbal, each and every area. 150 plus topic tests that would cost you around 950. So regarding the trainers and mentors, so we'll have right experienced trainers and mentors. So you can just have a look on the screen. We have Mr. Jenish. So he has got a tremendous experience as far as training the NMAT aspirants is concerned, and he's an alum of NMIMS, the NMIMS Mumbai. And we have Mr. Gopal Jain. He's an SIBM Pune alumni and has worked with lot of institutes across India, right? and it has got 10 plus years of work ex, and have got, as far as the verbal is concerned, we have got Ria Ghosh, and she has completed CELTA from the Cambridge University, and has got 5 plus years of work ex, teaching work ex post the program. All right. And for quant reasoning, we have Vivek Kumar. He has got tremendous experience in mentoring the MBA aspirants, mentoring the SNAP and NMAT aspirants. I hope you are clear with the NMAT pattern now and the most important questions. And regarding the most important B scores that come under NMAT, what I generally recommend is to apply for the main campus NMIMS, and the second one is you can target is the KJ Somaya, right? And the third one is the Xavier XIMB Bhubaneswar. XIMB Bhubaneswar NMAT score is accepted by XIMB not for the main program, which is the business management, not for that, but for HRM program, right? For HRM program, you can apply, you can get into XIMB through NMAT score, but if you want to get into the business management, the main program, you have to either attempt ZAT, right? Either attempt ZAT and get around 91 plus percentile, or else you can also attempt XGMT exam, right? I will make a separate video if getting into XIMB, ZAT, XGMT exam. So that is the thing. The three main colleges, the first one of course the NMIMS Mumbai, the main campus. The second one is the XIMB Bhubaneswar, the HRM program, and third one is the KJ Somaya. All right. So I hope I think you are clear with all the queries as far as the NMAT strategy is concerned, and particularly after I will make a separate video, a detailed video on more things related to. Okay, so all the best, and NMAT, prepare well.